Hello, welcome back to 3D Drawing for Model Railway. Today's lesson I'm going to continue on with the detailing of the underframe here. Let's start by just looking at this front surface. Now it is recessed slightly, so I'm going to add that detail in. Now probably the easiest way is if I create a sketch on the... that sketch is in the wrong place. Delete that. If I create a sketch on the bottom surface, and I can create a smaller rectangle on the front edge here. I only want it to be maybe 0.5 millimeters out, 0.5 on the edge there, and use the snap to the outside of that. 0.5 might even be too much, really. And we can just extrude this up 0.3. Okay. Where's that separate body? Let's edit that. Change that to join. There we go. Cool. Okay, so now we've got that joined in. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at doing the axles onto here. So we've got a line of symmetry down the middle, so both halves will be symmetrical. So yeah, if we can just jump back into Fusion and we turn on the canvas here, we can see where the axle sort of lines up. Check. So yeah, we've got the two vents here. The centre point is just after it. So yeah, it looks okay. So what I'm going to do is create an offset plane on the inside surface. So I've selected the underframe there. I'll rotate this round and we're going to look at how far in do we need to come to match this. So looking at the photos, it obviously starts, it's going to be behind, because it's riveted, it's going to be behind the side here. So if we just come back in, maybe 0.3 millimeters. Then we can create a sketch on that offset plane. So unfortunately we don't have the diagram for the effect. We're going to have to sort of match it and wing it a little bit. So let's go and draw a line. I'm going to use this as a construction line for a line of symmetry. Down. Would have to move as I clicked. Make that a construction line. Okay, so looking at this width, what we're looking at, maybe 2 foot. And we're going to put it sort of at that height, I reckon. So 2 millimeters. So what I'm looking at here now is the distance between there and the side of the wheel. Now I know this is a hypothetical wheel here. That distance looks okay. We could put a centre point in the wheel there. So if we use a 6.1 wheel, that's going to be about right. Obviously that's going to take, including the flange, up to 7.1, so we'll have to cut some out in the top here. So yeah, I'm going to go with that 2 millimeters there. And then I'm going to draw another line that comes up just beyond the edge of the wheel. So draw a line from there, there's the edge of the wheel. Put that position there, and we can constrain that point to the bottom there. Let's move that up so let's draw a line from there upwards, and then we constrain that line, that point to that line there, and then we can extend this construction line. That's going to be a pain. Let's get rid of it. We can extend that line, come down. Okay. Let's define distance from the end so it doesn't move that direction. And we can change that to 5 millimeters. Still gone diagonal. So I'll put a vertical constraint on there. Now change that to 5 millimeters. Put a horizontal constraint to that one, and then we can constrain that point to that line there. Then we're going to put an angle in there. So let's go 110. Okay, so we've now got the shape for this. Now you can see how it's got a cutout in the middle. Now that bottom part won't print particularly well as a cutout in Engage, unfortunately. Okay, so we're going to extrude this. I'm going to come back in 1 millimeter and tell it to join. Okay, now I'm going to try and create this onto the front. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do actually is let's mirror that feature. So axle WI will just drawn across. Okay, and now we're going to try and create this. So I'm going to draw a rectangle initially on the front surface of the WI. I'm going to get a centre point rectangle, find the midpoint, and I'm going to go for 2.8 wide by 1.5 high. Let's define height there as 1.6, and then we'll put a midpoint constraint of the midpoint to the midpoint of the bottom, so the left and right position will be matching. We can work it out. Okay, so we'll do midpoint of those two lines. Can't work it out. Probably because I've constrained the height. What I could do is draw a line up. Yeah, see it's 90 degrees, so it's in the correct position. Okay, so let's extrude this forward slightly. Let's go 0.1 just to give it a bit of relief. Now we'll do a circular axle. Okay, on that front surface. Find the midpoint. And it's slightly bigger, so I'm going to go 1.8. I'm probably going to need to be bigger than that in reality for the pinpoint. So the pinpoint will need to be 1.6, so that'll give me 0.1 wall thickness on some of this. So I might actually, I'm going to put that as 2 millimeters, and I know it'll be slightly over scale, but it'll give the support strength that we'll need. Okay, so let's extrude that. We'll have to do two-way extrusion. First of all, that's going to come back into the W line, so it will take up the gap between that small plate which is drawn, and we're going to come out. It's probably going to be sort of level with the front of the wagon, I would have thought. Let's try and see if we've got a really good side on picture of it. So that's sort of level with this handbrake bracket. So yeah, I'm going to come out level roughly with the front of the wagon. So we've got 0.8 there. And then, as you can see from the shape, it's rounded off. So fill it off the front edge there. I'm going 0.75. It's a small flat surface, and we can see on the front here we've got a small little dimple on the end here. So we can just correct, just extrude slightly that to create that dimple effect. Maybe 0.2. It probably looks like that needs to be further extruded because that's gone rounded all the way down now as well. So going back into the extrusion, just drag that out a bit more. It's sticking out slightly, but I don't think it looks massively wrong. We might be able to make this look a little bit smaller. What we can do is, if we create a sketch on its back surface before we go any further, and then project the geometry of that circle, we can create our 1.6mm diameter circle there, and extrude that in. So we know we've got the hole there for the axle, and we can maybe reduce that down slightly on the I know it's not a lot. Okay, what are the details we need to add to this? Okay, so we've got a couple of diagonal brackets there. So we can create an offset plane from that edge. Let's move that up -0.4. Let's see if I'm 0.3. Okay, and then create a sketch on there. So those diagonal brackets, they look like they go from the edge of this diagonally up. So snap that like that. And strain that to that corner. Just close off that triangle and then extrude that. So that you can see needs to be bigger. It needs to go all the way into the axle here. So we can edit that sketch and we can drag that line further in like that. Then we know it's intersecting. We can mirror that, so pattern it. Select that feature. Direction, upwards. We need two of them. Okay. plane between that face and that face there, and then we can mirror across the features on that new plane. Okay. So the next thing it's got, there's a couple of bolts on there, so we can just add those in onto that surface. Just going to use circles really for this. And then 0.3, and we have to define that. It's been a little bit laggy. And make it join as well. I'm just going to check distance here. So it's 0.4 there, 0.3. So we actually need to pattern this slightly. Move it up, 0.1, 0.3 there, 0.3 there. So we need to move the position of the reduce that by 0.2. Okay. So let's pattern that feature. Vertically downwards. There's only two of them. 1.2 is correct. And then we can mirror them across. Mirror plane being plane 6, which is that new plane. Before I continue with the rest of the strings, I'm going to add these links in here so that we know where we're working towards. So again, I'm actually going to create it flat on this surface, because looking at the image here, that's going to be flat onto that surface. So we're going to create, actually, how far across is it? Too bad. So we're going to go about there, come down, 3, and then across. 0.5, and then down 1.5. Across 0.3, up that top surface and close that in. The next one's going to be diagonal. Okay, so that's going to be again snap into the end there, 0.3 down, 0.7 across because it looks a little bit longer in that direction. probably want to come a bit longer than 0.7. Let's undo that. So 1. And then we'll come down to that position. 0.3 diagonal to that. Parallel. Close that off. Okay, so again, I might want to whole lot want to move across a bit. 1.3 there. Extend that to 1.2. So move this around. Once I've got this shape happy, now define that length there, 2.4, and we define that angle as 135. I'm going to define the distance between those 2 points, 1.8. Okay, so those 2 brackets, I'm going to extrude those to that back surface there. It's 0.5, click on OK. Sorry, edit that. They should be joining, not new bodies. Okay, and then there's like a little plate here that this attaches to. So I'm going to create a mid-plane between that front surface and the back surface of what we've created. Turn plane 6 off, that's the vertical one there. Okay, so we'll create a sketch on here. If you look at the shape, a bit of a curved bottom up, diagonal across. Okay, so a vertical one. Little line there, didn't want to be there. Vertical one, say 0.5 in height. Diagonal that goes diagonal up to there. So define the angle there is 110, and the length is 0.9. And then we're going to go slightly longer, so we're going to 0.5 there, and then we're going to come vertically down 0.4. Might change, that's probably too high, but we'll see. I'll have a look once I've come across. It's going 0.8 across, and then we're going to tangent arc between those 2 points. Actually, I don't think that's too bad. I'm going to do an extrusion on that. Symmetrical. I'm going to do 0.2, which gives us a thickness of 0.4 there. If I come back actually into this one, edit sketch, sorry, finish that. I want to do the extrusion, edit feature, do two-sided. I'm actually going to come forwards 0.1, just so that it sticks out from the top here slightly. That gives a little bit more thickness away from this plate. Okay, now we've got the link that we can draw. Now, it depends on how much detail you want to put onto this. I'm just going to do two rectangles, I think, or a rectangle with a couple of bits cut out of it. So I'm going to create a sketch onto the front surface. I'm going to do a 3-point rectangle. And the 3-point rectangle will allow me to draw it at an angle like this. I might want to make that a little bit longer in both directions. Yeah, it's got to come up. I might want to change the angle actually. Yeah, let's undo that. Let's back into it and have it a little bit more vertical. Like that. Okay, so I'm just moving the position there so it's a bit closer to that. Let's define some of these size. 0.6 on the width. Delete that one. Let's go for a true dimension. 2.4. Okay, let's define height from the top edge. 0.25. And from, let's go from that edge there. 4.3. Okay, get those. Extrude them. Again, I'm going to go two-sided. Let's come forwards. So what we got? That's too big. So let's go 0.5 in both dimensions actually. Okay, so now what I can do is create a sketch on the front surface. Okay, I'm going to be looking to use the rectangle, 3-point rectangle. I want that parallel to this one. All the way up. And then we can define distance from there to there. That's 0.1. From there to there. 0.1. Probably could have just done an offset here actually. Would have been an easier way to do this. And then I want a rectangle that goes across between them. .05 there. the same position, 0.5 in that direction. And then I've got two equally sized pieces here that I'm going to just cut inwards, say 0.2. And that'll give us the appearance of this linkage here. I know it's not perfect, but again, I'm looking at N-gauge, it's tiny, nobody's going to notice. Okay, so let's mirror these all across. So, mirror, and then we pick up all these features. And mirror them on plane 6, which is our mid-plane of the WI. Okay, let's draw that both sides. The next thing we've got to try and do is draw the leaf springs now. These never really come out great in N-gauge, to be fair. So if we find, actually we use a centre point rectangle, find that mid-plane, I'm just going to drag, how big does this look? That size. So we'll go 0.75 wide, and I'm going to do 2.5 in height. Select this top surface and extrude it to 0.4. Tell that to John. Okay, so our leaves are going to have to come between these now. Okay, create on the flat surface of the WI again, so we're going to use the rectangle tool. Come out 0.5 for the first one and define the height downwards as 0.15. Okay, this one is going to come down 0.2. And the leaf underneath curves up slightly. So I'm going to put an arc. 3-point arc from there, and I'm just going to come inside slightly. That's how I'm going to put a slight arc into it. The position that you put this cursor defines the position of your arc here. So I'm going to do something that looks a bit like that. And then I'm going to offset actually don't want this bit. Turn off chain selection. That'll help. Let's try that again. Chain selection off. Just select that part. I'm going to do 0.2 thickness. How many of them can we get away with? Let's try that. So do another offset of that. Can't do offset and offset, so go 0.4 for that one. Again, 0.6. And again, 0.8. That's probably going to be about enough that will come into here. Okay, so now we're going to draw a line coming down. And we're going to do sort of like steps. As I say there, define the distance from that point. 0.7. Okay, we'll do another one. Coming down. Let's do that 1.4. It's probably going to need to be more than that. Let's go 1.8. one. We only have these leaves coming out, something particularly strong here. Let's move this one. I'm going to have this all the way over to the side there. I'm going to move this one as well. And then this one. So now if we close that up and close this up, select that profile, and that profile, and then extrude those. That's going to move forward, so I'm going to want to drag that back slightly. Okay, so that's going to come 0.4. So I'm going to go back in history, I'm going to edit this one, I'm going to make that 0.5. And now I'm going to spin this round, select this rear surface, and extrude that to match the back of that one to give it a bit of strength there. Okay, we can now mirror those two features across that mid-plane 6. There's our leaf springs. Just noticed I've missed a bit off this leaf spring here, so we can kill off that. Edit the feature of the extrusion there, it's that little bit there. Okay, there we go. So these are still quite delicate. They'll print, they'll still be very delicate in there, and they do give that representation of the leaf spring there. Okay, so the next thing really I want to do is sort of create this hollow effect behind it. So if we spin round to the back, these bits we'll have to get rid of in here in a second. Select those 4 faces. I'm just going to extrude those to that back surface. Cut. That hasn't worked. Realistically, we just do extrude that face really. To create a sketch on that surface, let's just do this quickly. Sketch on that surface, circle 1.6. Select those surfaces, extrude. Okay, so go back to what we're doing, creating a rectangle above here. Again, I'm going to use a centre point rectangle, find the midpoint, and I'm going to create sort of a hollow effect. Let's go 2 millimeters wide, 2.4 high. You've got the hollow part at the top, you've got a little gap at the bottom that probably won't print, but it's there. Okay, and then if we look on here, we've got a small circle that comes down, which shouldn't be too difficult to print on there. Create a circle on the top surface there. Find the midpoint. It's got 0.6. Maybe. Oh, it's flipped down that. Let's go 0.7. The last thing I'm going to add on to the bottom of the WI are these 4 rivets here. I'm not going to cut this out because this just becomes too brittle and it snaps all the time. So there's no point me cutting that out. So just going to create a small sketch on this front surface using our normal rivet design, 0.3 millimeters in diameter, height from there 0.2, distance it's pretty much in the edge there, so we can define it roughly where it is. It looks okay, 0.3, extrude. Forward 0.15 and then we fill it off the top 0.15. Okay, pattern that feature. So we get the fillet and the extrusion direction across. Let's come all the way over to the other side. We want 2 sets of 2. Actually, what we could do, because we've got a mirror set up, do that 0.5, just do 2 of them, and then mirror those features across our mirror plane, plane 6. That extrusion, we need to edit that, so that should be joined on the new body. This extra body we've got here, that's that one. Edit that. Okay, so I think I'm going to finish that video there. That's our WI created. As I say, we only have to do one of them because when we mirror the wagon across, this will all copy across in all 4 of the corners. So yeah, I'm going to leave the video at that point there. It's quite a long one creating that WI, but hopefully that will work okay. Thanks for watching.